I'm honored to represent the 4th District of Kansas. My hometown, Wichita, Kansas, is proud to be known as the air capital of the world. Over 100 years ago, Clyde Cessna began manufacturing planes outside of Wichita. Since then, Wichita has grown to be the leading center for aviation manufacturing around the world. In fact, 67% of the world's embedded general aviation fleet is manufactured in Kansas. We're proud of the work we do in Wichita, and general aviation has a good home in Kansas. I worked for many years in the general aviation industry as a process improvement engineer. That's why I'm putting forward this important piece of legislation that will help ensure general aviation remains safe and secure. I urge my colleagues to vote for H.R. 3669, the Securing General Aviation and Commercial Charter Air Carrier Service Act. General aviation, which includes all non-commercial flights, and commercial charters account for nearly 2/3 of all towered operations in the United States. This does not account for the thousands of untowered operations in the United States that are only served by the general aviation community. However, general aviation and commercial charter air services represents a small fraction of TSA's stakeholder community, causing their issues and concerns to fall to the bottom of the agency's priorities. This bill seeks to elevate some of these important but often overlooked security issues. The general aviation community has important safety concerns that deserve to be heard and acted upon by TSA. Commercial charters are forced to use antiquated and unsecure systems to ensure their passenger safety. Currently, the software needed to connect to TSA's secure flight system for vetting passengers costs tens of thousands of dollars. Commercial airlines, serving 2.5 million passengers a day, can easily adapt the software. However, smaller operators do not have the passenger volume to absorb the cost. Currently, TSA emails commercial charter operators large data sets in spreadsheet format that their operators must then check passenger manifest. This unsecure method presents a serious security risk for the data, which could include sensitive personal information. I've heard from commercial charter operators that access to the secure flight system is a top priority so that they can ensure the safety of the airspace and their passengers. TSA should explore creating a web-based program that these operators could access that would have real-time passenger vetting information and would prevent the unintended distribution of sensitive security information. Currently, private charter air carriers must use their own flight crews or private screening companies to screen passengers. In certain instances, these carriers would like to occasionally use on- or off-duty TSA agents to screen passengers due to the expertise and training that these agents possess. However, when private charters are performed on short notice, carriers are unable to bring off-duty TSA screeners into their own program due to certain FAA regulations. Language in this bill would allow private charters the flexibility to request and pay for this service without cost to the taxpayer. Additionally, the Aviation Security Advisory Committee has approved several recommendations regarding improvements to security rules and regulations for general aviation and commercial charter air carrier programs. These important recommendations have yet to be implemented by TSA. This legislation requires TSA to develop an implementation plan and timeline in which to execute these outstanding recommendations. The final issue this bill addresses is a lack of a full-time subject matter expert at TSA to interact with general aviation stakeholders and handle general aviation security issues. The industry has been forced to rely on individuals that have often given this portfolio temporarily and struggles to find a reliable point of contact for matters that arise. This bill authorizes the appointment of a full-time employee to handle this portfolio, thus giving industry a knowledgeable and reliable liaison with TSA. General aviation and the commercial air charter industry are important components of the aviation community. I believe that their important safety concerns deserve to be heard and acted upon by TSA. I thank the Chairman for his help and assistance, and I urge all members to support this legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve the balance of my time.